Thank you very much, Laure. Lovely to hear from Razor after Fnatic close out the game, even though you're in a deficit. Upset. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, tell us about that game. It wasn't the easiest one, like from the get-go. What do you think allowed you to take over?
I think we only won this game because the enemy probably was very stressed out and made like a very huge mistake. I think with the champs we selected, we would have needed to get way further ahead because overall our champs don't really interact that well with each other. Because we have like two hyper carries in Victor and Jinx, but basically no front line. And Victor and Jinx are not the champs that set up like too much snowball in the early game usually, but they're just really good champions in the meta. So I think we just ended up making it work, punishing their mistakes, and everyone played like good individually, but overall feels kind of disappointing to win the game based on the enemy not playing well instead of us being the dominant force throughout the game.
I mean, obviously the positive spin on that is that if there's a throw, you have to catch it. This replay here, this was where things really changed, I think, in my opinion, because, you know, if you survive the initial engage, you have lots of damage, and that's all very good. But then the problem is actually getting to that point. They did it the once, you rolled away with it. So, I mean, obviously, congratulations for kind of like the counter snowball, but it was difficult to get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, they had no reason to engage on mid. We had so hard time contesting any dragon and they just started stacking them. And I didn't really see a great way to play a fight unless enemy fucks up an engage, because we don't really have engage in our comp. But yeah, we ended up making it work, and Hilly still really
pretty good at that champion.
Yeah, so I guess we can be happy with the win at least.
Yeah, I guess a way to look at it could be that, you know, you're gonna sometimes get into positions where this happens, right? So it's, I guess, good to build on the mechanics to play from behind. Is that a good read, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Or are you like, no, we shouldn't have never got behind, so this is stupid?
Well, if you play with a really good team and they get ahead, you're supposed to lose the game, like, usually.
Yeah.
So we definitely don't aim to like practice playing from behind, I would say. We want to be the one pushing the game forward. But yeah, we should always be grateful for the wins we get, and even if the circumstance wasn't the easiest to pull it off, we should still be happy that we managed to do it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was a great game from you guys, so I hope that helps a little bit. I'm afraid to say it, key player of the game, Hylissang, with 80% of the votes, which I think, obviously, when you look at this game, is pretty deserved. And yesterday you tweeted, what do I have to do to get a player of the game, or something like that. And I replied, well, MVP is better than MVP. And you said, I'm going to make sure my support gets it. Yeah, how do you think Hilly's been playing? Has he been playing even better than last year?
I think Hilly is playing to a really similar level. I think he's playing to a similar level than last summer split. I think spring it was more difficult for him and he had more bad games, but in the summer split he was clearly the best support and we were clearly the strongest bot lane for me personally.
I think you could say that now too.
Still
maybe?
now,
yeah, so I wouldn't say he plays much better or worse now. I just think he gets more recognition and he also had the opportunity to play more unique champion picks, I think, in this split, because we have more freedom with the other players in our team that maybe not really draw bans, but like are a huge threat as well. So he has more freedom to play more creative picks like the Zillion and the Pike, which he showed great performances on. So yeah, I think he's definitely deserving.
Yeah, but I do understand your frustration, though. It's almost like you've been playing well for so long that you never get in these polls and then never get picked because he's playing a flashy Pike. But in any case, you've been playing with Hilly now for a while, though. So as a duo, you guys have been getting better and better. Do you feel like there's still margins to improve in terms of the synergy you have with each other, or is that capped at a certain point?
No, we still have a long way to go, I would say. I think we definitely improving always, just adapting to new metas, but we only played for like 1.5 years soon, and I think we didn't go through all the metas yet. I think in terms of range matchups we could play a lot better because we are really good at the other style, but there's a lot to learn. I think when you look at the Asian meta as well, they are very, very good at this. And I know me and Hilly are able to play against them with our style, but being a complete bot lane, being able to play everything to like the best level in the world is something we can still improve on.
But
Awesome.
you look at that bot lane meta though, and you know, there were so many people so upset for a while about like the Kai'Sa Xayah meta. It's like, oh my gosh, it's only 280 carry champions, what do we do? But it feels like this meta like gives you a chance to kind of show off in a 2v2, have the late game team fights, still kind of have a lot of different support matchups as well. Are you kind of happy playing in this meta, or do you want to see a bit more of the, I don't know, some of the more flashy champions come out in terms of the early game ones?
Well, I love the Kai'Sa, Tristana, Xayah, Ezreal meta more.
Oh yes, the dive-in champions.
Yeah. I mean, Aphelios is...
That's what Gale Force is for?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I like Aphelios and I also like Jinx, but the other meta I think has more potential to show off individual skill maybe. Jinx doesn't have insane skill expression, I would say, compared to a lot of other champs, so I prefer the other meta.
You just run at them, basically. I want to ask about your team just a little bit, just because Razork was asked about it as well. Maybe let's start with him. He expressed in this interview with Lord that he didn't feel happy about this performance from him on Viego, and he said that he felt like he had a lot to learn coming into this team. What has your experience been like playing with him? Because I can imagine it's vastly different than, of course, playing with Bwipo last year.
Yeah, while Bwipo was one of the people with the most experience in the team, he also needed to learn the jungle role, but he already had a huge amount of game knowledge and was very intelligent about the game. And we also already had like very good synergy because he was close with Hilly and me and Hilly were also really close, and we were like a force together as three, and this was all our team was about, and it was really great to work with him in this way. And with Ivan, I think we didn't have that personal relationship yet, or Hilly and him also didn't have that relationship yet. So I think it was more difficult for him, and he also didn't have so much experience yet. So I could definitely see that it would be difficult for someone like him to come into a team where there's so much experience already. And he's trying really hard, I think, to learn and to make the best out of it and move into the right direction. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how he's doing.
We heard a lot about Humanoid already, so I'd like to ask about Wonder as well. I think Yamato came out in a quote last week, I believe, saying he is training so much. He's absolutely dedicated to his craft. What's it like playing with Wonder, someone you played against for so long?
I really love playing with Wonder. He's like the most mentally stable person I think I probably ever played with. He is very, very relaxed in his approach. I would say that he doesn't overreact in either direction, and he's very just does his job well, and he does it super well, I think. And he's also quite smart, so yeah, I really enjoy playing with him.
And sometimes he gets triple kills under towers. I hear that's really useful.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Nice to hear. Finally, you've of course locked in playoffs. Where would you say you are in terms of your development with this roster specifically, knowing that you're going into the playoffs, and how happy are you with the work you've done so far?
Well, I think our ceiling is clearly the best team from what I think about our team, and we are second right now, so I'm not that satisfied because I feel like we could do a lot better. But on the other hand, we also should always be grateful for the good things that are going on, and we are second right now and we are improving steadily, I would say. But I definitely think we still have a long way to go in terms of improving.
We'll see how that develops for Fnatic. Already locked into the playoffs, and in the Kia Player of the Game leaderboard, Vitio is leading with 9 wins. This is actually the most a player has ever had in LEC history. He's now followed by Hylissang with 6 and Mickey with 4. But Kia Player of the Game leaderboards do not MVPs make Nymera. If it
they
had
do
to
make
be
people feel pretty good about themselves.
That's true. No, he doesn't care, apparently. We asked him and he was like, well, I really don't care. But Nymera, if they should have to pick the MVP today, or if it would get decided today, who deserves it?
Okay, so this comes into like a really weird conversation about what you actually value a most valuable player is.
Yes. Just give us an answer.
For me, it is Vitio because, I mean, I just can't see Misfits being, anywhere close to how good they are without him. I think that when you have top of the table teams with the best players on them, they kind of detract from each other's value because they have to work together. So I think VTO is the standout player on this because he's just like dragging his team up by the scruff of the neck.
So you're taking the definition of this, without this person, this team wouldn't function.
It's not straight out. It's not straight out best player. It's value to their team, and I think VTO's got that for me right now.
And Upset, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Hillesang just because he really deserves it, I think, for how much work he has been putting in, and he is also very valuable to our team.
Yeah.
So I would just say Hillesang.
Yeah, but I guess it would be nice if you got it finally too. So let's take a look at the standings after week 7. We only have 2 spots remaining in the the race for playoffs. So 4 teams have already made it. There are only 2 left. The top 4 is Fnatic. Hang on. Rogue is locked into the top 4. Why am I reading? I could just look at that. Rogue, Fnatic, Misfits, and G2 are all locked in the playoffs. And right now, we have Team Vitality and Excel, with Mad Lions and SK Gaming still having a chance. But Team BDS and Astralis are out. Upset, what is your gut feeling about who the 2 teams will be who will make it into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think Excel and Vitality are 100% going to make it into the playoffs. I don't think there's any way Excel could still miss out on it. There's for sure no way.
They do have... I'm pretty sure they still have to face G2
Rogue.
and Rogue. They do face SK, so SK, like, it could literally come down to the SK match versus them, but which would be a great story.
But Mad Lions is playing Astralis, BDS, and Vitality.
Astralis? Oh, actually?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, but Mad is 5 and 10. So Vitality would have to go 0-3, and they probably still play one of the boosted teams as well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Excuse me?
One of the bottom teams.
Yes. I mean, I like to come up with like crazy scenarios because that is what makes it interesting. Every game counts and all that. We've got a couple of interesting matchups as well. Let's take a look. It is a super week, guys. So we have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to watch League of Legends. And I really hope that there are some games that are still important for the standings by like game or day 2. Otherwise, we're just twiddling our thumbs. But Vitality versus Mad, absolutely huge for playoffs. Then there's G2 versus Excel in the fight to stay in 4th. And Excel would lock the playoffs with 1 more win, but it's all left to be decided also from us. Thank you very much, Upset, for talking to us. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the trajectory so far. Nymira, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Broxa, thank you as well. You did a great job. You just missed him, Upset. And I'm going to take another selfie since we can. With the mic, it's just very awkward. You could roll the music production, then maybe it's less awkward.
No, I really want to just sit in this. Okay. This is great. This is wonderful.
Silently.
Fantastic. Thank you both very much. And that's all from us here this weekend on the LEC. We're going to be back next weekend. We've got 3 days fun of action. Jesus, it's time we sign off. Full of action in Super Week. But fear not, there is more League of Legends. Over in the LCS, we've got their Super Week. And we've got Team Liquid versus Dignitas. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.